directly. We the populace, we the masses, we the people. It affects unite directly. I've got a guest. I'll introduce him shortly, but I'd like to quickly introduce what we are, talking about today or conversing on today. And we're looking at forecast by KPMG, talking about inflation hitting 30% by December 2023. And they say, given the way inflation continues to rise or has been rising for the past few months, it will get to 30%. Currently, it is 26.7 recorded for September. We are waiting to get November. However, some people the FDC is saying that inflation may get to 27.8%. That's for October. We're waiting for NBS. NBS will give its statistics in maybe a few days time, maybe even today, you never know, but we get to know what it is like for the month of October. For November, we'll get to know in December, and for December, we get to know in January. However, they're saying December's inflation rate may hit 30%. Now, I remember in the month of May, when I started anchoring Hard Facts, I did mention, and I talked about it a couple of times, that inflation will rise, and it will rise. I gave the factors why, or reasons why it will rise, and it looks like I have become a prophet as it has continued to rise even up until now. And that's why I have via the phone a development expert. I'm talking about Cletus Ilugo. Cletus Ilugo, thank you very much for being a part of the show this Lord's Day, so to say.
Yeah, good evening, listeners on radio. It's a pleasure to be in our station again.
Yes, indeed.
I want to thank the listeners. I want to thank listeners always for tuning in to this our wonderful radio station for state-of-the-art information and current information that will keep us abreast with the economic situation of the country and beyond.
Okay.
Taking a look at our decision for tonight, the forecast and the projected inflation rate that is expected to hit 30% by December. It is not a fluke. Thank God is coming from a well-known financial organization such as KPMG, and it's been global for their transparent and accurate data analysis. Looking at the report, it is important for us to look at the indicators upon which it will be primarily or forecasting 30% inflation rate, which perhaps might be a still number. Dear friends, it is not a fluke. It is not a magic. The indicators are glaring. Our production base is weak. And added to that is that our dependence on dollar or dollarized economy or dollarized spending is also weakening the ability of Nigeria to exchange with dollar. That in itself affects our ability to do what? To boost our production capacity. Ordinarily, the devaluation of currency is meant to boost local economy because foreign currencies exchange for more in local environment, thereby giving it opportunity for investors to find your current country as an investment target.
All right.
But the challenge is a country that is bedeviled by insecurity, a country that is bedeviled by banditry, a country that is bedeviled by agitation, oftentimes are not prepared foreign portfolio investment and foreign direct investment. So since these two aspects of investment are not happening in the country, it leaves us with nothing other than inflation, where much few goods are out there in the marketplace with the available currency chasing the goods at the expense of the dictation and dictates of the suppliers. That's why inflation is going on. But added to it that as an economist, it is imperative for us to understand that if this is not adequately watched, it will lead to a worse economic situation called stagflation.
Stagflation.
That is stagnation and inflation joined together. That's the situation where economic activity is not buoyant and inflation is increased. That is worst.
All right.
I pray the managers of our economy today are wise enough to mitigate this before it snowballs into stagflation.
Can I pause you? Can I pause you because I've got questions? Two questions. First, you said our economy is dollarized. I mean, the last time I checked, we have the currency, only one currency, and it's the naira and kobo currency. The last time I also checked, there was a bill at the Senate level of our National Assembly talking about, making it illegal to spend foreign currencies in Nigeria. So what do you mean by dollarized economy? Can you explain that? And then secondly,
thank you very much.
Okay, just go ahead. I'll ask the second question. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kala. It is expedient to say what dollarized economy is. Dollarized economy is an economy that is so tilted, so decimated, and so measured by the powers of dollar. In other words, the bourgeois in the country tend to keep their wealth in dollar.
Okay.
That is also a way to maintain the local currency. And that is what most of those who are privileged in Nigeria do. Why do they do this? It is simple. Lack of trust in the economy where they live and invest. Secondly, they do this for ease of pulling out of investment in the case of fragility and in the case of insecurity in a country.
Okay.
That's why most investors in a fragile state invest in portfolios. That's foreign portfolio investment as against foreign direct investment. In foreign portfolio, you put your investment through the portfolios which are shared with ease out. You do not deepen growth and development of that economy. A few benefit from it. But when it is foreign direct investment, there is deepening of investment opportunities, creating jobs, and stabilizing the economy for proper economic advancement.
Okay.
So when I use that term as an economist, I'm able to clear, even though the law says Naira and Kobo are the legal tenders of Nigeria, no doubt. But the question is, most people in Nigeria measure the economic position in dollars.
Okay.
How many Nigerians have you seen telling you what they want in Naira?
And so you're saying Nigerians are part of the major problem why we have inflation skyrocketing every month.
There are local inflations, there are imported inflation.
Okay.
Because this is not an economic class, we have to dwell on local inflation. Nigerians are part and parcel of the system. And so activities of Nigeria create or solve inflationary trends. For instance, how many Nigerians are investing in a local economy? When you have production and everybody is investing by way of SMEDA, small and medium enterprise development activities in Nigeria, we deepen our operations, create jobs, and there will be what you call circular flow of income from the household to industry and the government, thereby deepening our economy, making it robust. Because the 3 tiers of government, when we look at the definition of an economy using an economic model, which is C plus I plus G. C is consumption, which is that of the household. I is investment, which is in the investment group, industries, and G is government. Once the I, which is investment, is weak, and the policies of government are not supporting I, the consumption rate and abilities of the household, which is C, will be weakened.
Okay.
And so inflation will abound. That's the way it is. I'm sorry, I'm creating some difficulties for our listeners in terms of
we'll get, no problem. But let's come to this. You said stagflation, where there is stagnation and inflation.
Yes.
Are we not there already? Because I'll give you some statistics now. I was just telling the listeners not so long ago that the federal government says, or rather the NSA did say that the Tinubu's administration situation inherited a bankrupt country, a bankrupt economy, that 90 to 95% of what they generate as revenue goes back into servicing debt. So that means we are stagnated because we spend on servicing debt, we don't use it on developing. Then there is the inflation, that the cost of living continually rises. Is that not stagflation already? Are we not in a stagnated related society? Okay.
It is the duty of the government and government economic management to declare economy. So lettuce from one end of Nigeria does not have a local standard to declare an economy stagflated. Even though economic indicators may point that it is the focus of the government to do so. Nevertheless, indicators are very, very clear, showing us, pointing to that direction, but the ability and the power to do so is not within my powers and within my reach. But what I'm trying to say is that, like I mentioned earlier when I first pointed out stagflation, I said, and I quote again, that it is the duty of economic managers to try as much as they can and powers to mitigate the economy from snowballing to stagflation.
All right.
Which is very key.
All right.
For the person of the NSA, of course, he has some powers within his office to do so. But we cannot grow as expected.
All right.
And so it's important for us, you and I inclusive, to do within our reach and within our scope what we need to do to ensure that we reflect the economy in the way of our investment activity. One of such is to go into many agricultural activities in your neighborhood and in my neighborhood. The one challenge to that is the rampaging effect of banditry, rampaging effect of herders eating up crops in people's farm. These are causes, or these are contributing factors leading to inflation where prices are high because the goods to buy are very few.
Okay. Now, there is a commercial break coming up in 2 minutes, but I'm still going to throw the question at you. So we've talked about all of these things. We've talked about the factors. We've talked about why inflation will continue to rise, low production. We run a dollarized economy. A lot of people are investing in foreign portfolios and foreign direct investments. You've given factors. Nigerians are part of the problem. But how does this impact the Nigerian on the street? How does this impact the woman selling akara? How does this impact the small scale business that sells sachet water? How does this impact all of these small medium businesses? Entry the inflation threatened right to 3%.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kalara. I don't know how much impact is over there. But I should go from 2 years ago. There's big open for 450. I speak with you today is 1 time. Is the reason. Most bakers are closing down because they do not have capital to meet up. The inputs required to run a bakery factory are way beyond their capacity. So today, what you buy today for XYZ amount going to the market is already on the high side.
All right.
This is inflation.
Okay.
What is the attendance?
Mr. Cletus, sorry, apologies. I'd like to pause you. We'll look at the question when we come back from the commercial break, please.
Very much.
All right, it's the bottom of the hour. Yes, 5:30 p.m. and you're listening to Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Kalada Kurubatibo, and we are looking at the inflation rate in the country and the forecast by KPMG. It might get to 30% as at December 2023. I've got with me via the phone Cletus Lugo, who's a development expert and economist as well, and we are looking for development. Welcome back on the show. Hello, Mr.
Yeah, thank you very much,
right,
and
then.
thank you, listeners.
Right.
Thank you very much, and thank you, dear listeners, for always staying tuned.
All right.
You're welcome.
All right. So we were talking about the impact on the common man. What 30% inflation means to the average Nigerian, to the gates man, akara woman, taxi driver, to even me sitting here in the studio.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. The impacts are very many. The one of such that you and I would know is that there will be a reduction in the quality of life.
Okay.
Reduction, gross reduction in the quality of life.
Okay.
People live. Again, the life expectancy will reduce because people will not have money to meet up their healthcare needs, which is a challenge. That also implies that any ailment or illness can send somebody to go beyond.
Okay.
That's a big challenge.
Okay.
Because the purchasing power of the people are very weak. So the goods and services they can access are also limited and congruent to the amount at their disposal. In many cases, the value of their disposable income, of course, let me talk like an economist that I am, the value of their disposable income will be very weak. So in a situation like this, when the value of the disposable income is weak, people may tend to change their shelter because the inability to pay for the present shelter space may force them to live in failure. Coming to businesses will strangulate. Some will close down. And the aftermath effect of all of this is that there will be increase in crime, increase in insecurity, and increase in burglary. To this end, if the causative factor, which is low production and high increase in price, are not mitigated, we are moving towards a situation whereby security will be affected.
All right.
These are the effects.
All right.
Short, medium, and long-term effects of high inflation in an economy. So there is need for government to inject funds.
I was going to ask.
Enhance policy that can stimulate growth and development. Thank you.
I was going to ask, will this also affect the value of the naira as against, other currencies? Currently,
definitely yes.
Okay.
What increases the value of the local currency is your ability to boost the economy through production and dependence on locally produced goods, so that there will be reduction and pressure on foreign exchange. This is what empowers your local currency to be high against other currency. This is just the situation. The economic analysis of currency valuation.
So I use okay. Let's leave that. In your own opinion, in your economist expertise, how do you think we can stop this from happening? How do you think we can stop inflation rate from going up?
Very simple. Very simple.
I mean, using reality, not theory, reality, the Nigerian reality, because we're tired of theories.
Go back to the model I gave to you.
Okay.
D plus I plus G.
Okay.
The government should enhance policy that will stimulate investment in the country and inject more funding in key sectors that will elicit growth, development, and production. I decided to bring up production separately because growth or production is an aspect or an integral part of growth and development, but I decided to separate it. Why? The key sectors that we need to go into. Number one, let's go back to agriculture. Agriculture is the mainstay that creates jobs and produce or provide raw materials for agro-based industries. And then we look at the agricultural value chain that is capable of generating income, export, and also creating employment for the teeming youth. When the youth are gainfully employed, little or few will be involved in crime.
All right.
And when your state is peaceful, more investments will come in. So people will see from the wider world that your economy is stable and it keep coming in. And then thirdly, we need to also enhance our support for power generation.
All right.
We need to ensure that power is stable. Industries in the country that depend on power, especially diesel, will also have them to power their factories and produce more.
All right.
When we do this, our value in international space will increase because we have enough to export, or we have some to export. And again, the foreign intake of Nigerians will be high.
Okay.
And so the circular flow of income, and the circular exchange will enhance.
Okay.
And so the household, which you see now, will be robust enough to patronize the goods and services from industry out and vis-a-vis one another. And so the industry will have more funds to expand. This is how it works.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to open the phone lines now so we can have a few calls before we wrap up the conversation. 5:37 p.m. currently. You're listening to Hard Facts at 92.3 Nigeria Info. I've got a guest over the phone, and I've been talking with a development expert and economist. I'm talking about Cletus Lugo, and he's been a wonderful guest. He's explained it. He's told us the factors why inflation continues to go up, and he has told us how we can bring it down. However, he has also said what would be the impact if it gets to 30%. It means that we will not have the purchasing power in the market. It means that we will not be able to afford what we can afford now, because it will be more expensive, and even if we can afford it, we'll be paying through our noses. All right, so 0817-923-0002 is the call number. Ring the studio right now. I'd like to hear from you. And 0817-923-0003 is the second call number. Ring the studio. Remember, you can drop your messages on WhatsApp 0809-030-6416. What is on your mind? What are you thinking? There is the report. There is the forecast. It is crazy. The last time KPMG made a forecast, it did come to pass. It wasn't actually, the exact figure, but it did, something close, something around the region. Now they're saying 30%. Oh my goodness. Currently, the Naira, the value of the Naira does not suit my expenditure. I'm looking at what to cut down. I'm looking at what to do away with, what should be, the alternative for gone, like the economists would say. I've got Robin. Robin is calling from HA. Robin, greetings to you. Welcome.
Good evening again, Canada, my brother.
Yeah, greetings. Welcome. Let's talk, please, quickly.
Yes, and greetings to our resource.
All right.
You see, the focal point of what he has analyzed, go through, to my understanding, as a layman on economics, is simple: polarization of the economy.
Okay.
And this is done by who? By the bourgeois. He mentioned them.
Are you not part of that class? Are you not an average citizen?
Yeah, I'm just a cassava planter. Who am I?
All right, let's.
Just a cassava planter.
Okay.
That is the problem. These elected leaders, former senators, look at how they are crisscrossing. We have over about 24 of them in National Assembly as senators, ministers in this present government. They are the problem. What they spend Canada is dollars. They don't have business with Naira. Naira is in their pocket. They don't spend it. And look at what he's saying. The government came on board and said to hit the ground. That's President Tinubu. He is there. National Assembly have wasted Nigerian money, over 150 million naira for each lawmaker. And what is about economy? How can it be okay?
All right. In summary, please.
They don't do that.
In summary, please.
Good evening, Canada.
All right, thank you. Rufus from Bielsa. Rufus, welcome. What is on your mind, please? Let's hear you.
Yeah, Canada, greetings.
Yeah, greetings. Inflation.
Oh, God. So now, Canada, I want to know how to
Sorry, I didn't get that. What did you ask? I didn't hear you clearly.
How do we survive this now?
That's what we're talking about. How do we survive? I was hoping you have an opinion or a contribution to that effect.
The revolution is the answer.
What revolution are you going about? What are you talking about, please?
Over the leaders. All the revolution.
All right. We don't call for violence on the show. We talk for development. This is Ken from Bumini. Welcome. Welcome on the show.
How reality we can solve the problem, right? And he said that it is very, very simple. And I concur with him, because the problem we are having in Nigerian economy is the politicians who hodled all our money, both hard and soft currency, the one we call Naira. All of them are going outside this country in having their investment around the world.
All right.
And keep this country empty. And we are here shouting about bad economy. Simple as your guest said, let them focus on this country. Let them focus to know the kind of factories, companies, and whatever thing that we make the masses, the less privileged, to be busy having something on the table. Look at the agricultural sector. Even the refinery, the product, who is the head of all what we are doing in this country, immediately they seize our products. Everything high because of
right.
greed of our politicians. So they are the problem of this country. Not hard economy. The politicians out there in Abuja
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I've got to go now. I've got to move on. This one says we are the cause of our problems, and it behoves on us to fix it. All right. Thank you very much. And let's see this other one. All right. This message is not for this conversation. Let's see. All right. Okay. So your final words, please, because we're out of time, Mr. Cletus.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you, our listeners on radio. I want to say this to my dear friends that are coming for revolution. I think you misunderstood what we're talking about. I thought you are saying that we should revolutionize our mindset to embrace production and not consumption. That's a good revolution. The revolution that involves taking up arms is the wrong one, because no country is developed by the same. The countries develop by changing their mindset from wrong one to better one. So let every Nigerian, including the political class and the led, change their mindset to this country, invest in Nigeria, think of Nigeria, and patronize Nigerian made goods. This way, our dependence on foreign currency will reduce, and our local economy will improve. Let every one of us embrace agriculture and stop this my leader mentality.
All right.
My leader praise and rest.
All right.
Let's embrace agriculture.
All right.
Diversify economy.
I've got to go now at this point. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Cletus Ulugo, a development expert and an economist. Thank you very much for your expert knowledge and contribution on the show. But at this time, I would have to say, have a good day. And you listening, remember, we'll come back open season and we will revisit this conversation. And the question I want to ask is, how are you? Like the musician would say, how are you, my friend? I've got to go for now. There's a commercial break this station.